Okay, today is June 23rd, 2019, and right now at 11:20 p.m. we have a temperature of 62 degrees here in the foothills of Los Angeles. The relative humidity is up at 80%, and the dew point is 56 degrees, and we have a barometric pressure right now of 29.89, actually 29.88. That's risen just slightly. Okay, so we're looking at the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. We can see a low pressure system, a very large low pressure system right here spinning just north of the Hawaiian Islands. And we can also see a very large area of thunderstorms right here, which are actually being superheated, targeted by satellite transmitters and being superheated and blown apart. We can see also there's some angular features in this weather system. Let's go ahead and take a look at that weather system here. Actually, we'll just hang on for that just a minute here, but we can also see moisture approaching the west coast, California right here. We can see that by tomorrow morning, the people in northern and central California will probably be seeing a lot of aerosol spraying. There is no precipitation showing up on the Doppler map anywhere here in the southwest. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the Doppler map. We can see that right here. Nothing going on in the entire Pacific coast. All the weather is right over here in the middle of the country. We'll take a look at that as well. So let's go back to the big map here. We can see what's going on. Very large weather system. This is a 1,000 millibar weather system. It looks menacing. And also notice what's happening here. This is the jet stream flow. And look what's happening right here. There's a transmitter on this vortex, and we can see the angular features. If we go to the next map here, it's showing the Hawaiian Islands. Right up here is that low pressure system. We've got the islands right here. And right here is where they're blowing apart this giant thunderstorm system. We can see a very large bow develop towards the end of the loop right there, which is actually a kind of a partial right angle right there. And notice what happens here. This thing just disintegrates. It's targeted right about there. And as we look at the next map here, this is the infrared map, we can see a blast pattern right there shooting out right there. And this thing just disintegrates. See the hole open up right there. So we have general movement to the ever so slightly to the east right here, and yet this thing, this area of water vapor goes shooting out right there. And looking at the visible light map, we can see the same feature. Let's get rid of that dead frame. Right here, as that approaches Kauai, this big thunderstorm system. We see this giant bow open up as that satellite transmitter superheats and disrupts the convection in that thunderstorm system. So let's go back and take another look at the infrared map. And we can see a partial pressure wave right there at the end, right at the last two frames, right there towards the end. Let's go ahead and stop this and just right there. We can just go back and forth on that. We can see that the last two frames show that blast pattern right there. That pressure wave is developed when the transmitter superheats the upper air mass, and we have descending air right into a thunderstorm system. That kills the lift and prevents the thunderstorm activity. So these are passing right over the northern islands. Looks like Oahu and Kauai, and the other islands, everything is approaching those other islands, but looks like they've knocked that down. But as we look at the bigger map here, we can see that the jet stream flow is mushrooming into this high pressure center, which is manipulating the pressure in this 1,000 millibar low pressure system. Looking at the water vapor map, once again, we can see that very strange mushrooming pattern. We have the jet stream flow, which is literally dead ending right here. Low pressure, higher pressure always flows towards lower pressure. This is a low pressure center, so we should naturally see this water vapor getting right into that vortex and spinning with all the rest of the moisture. Also, we see that the moisture here is being blockaded. Look at this. Look at the pattern right here. This is not wrapping around. It's actually peeling off right about there. So this vortex has been isolated, and the proof of this is the jet stream flow. It's dead ending right here. It's not getting into that vortex. Look at that. There's a blockade. Now, let's shift gears and get over to the middle of the country right here. Let's see, right down here. We can see some very, very severe weather over Oklahoma, Kansas, and out over the Midwest. And notice what's happening here. There's actually 3 lows comprising this area right here. We see a partial right angle, yet we see no blockade. You see right through here, that little area there, that dark area, which was blockading this thunderstorm from these 3 spinning lows, falls apart. It breaks apart. And we can see all that moisture, that tropical moisture flowing right up towards that vortex. So we see in this example how higher pressure flows right towards those 3 low pressures. But out here over the Pacific, and by the way, this is causing some very, very wild weather. We'll probably hear about hail damage and maybe some tornadoes. This is all preventable. So the focus of the transmitter activity should be right here to stop the merging of this warmer thunderstorm activity and this warm moisture from what's happening right here. Okay, so getting back to the big map here, we can see what's happening. This is all blockaded, but this area over here is not. So we've got the jet stream literally mushrooming right into a low pressure system. Can't get into the vortex, but over here, this is all being allowed to merge and cause very chaotic weather. So this is, once again, a reason why we have cartoon weather on mainstream fake news television. They will not show these maps, and there's a reason for that. The Democrat Party is locked at the hips and shoulders with the people that are controlling our weather. The media, the Democratic Party, and the rogues that are controlling our weather for profit are all connected. And someday we'll get to the bottom of this, but we're showing the maps that are not being shown on the mainstream television. Tomorrow we should expect to see possibly some chemtrail activity down here in the Southern California area as this moisture approaches. Notice here all this moisture is blockaded right through here. None of this is getting anywhere near that vortex. It's completely blocked. But the same is not true over here. So this is being allowed to merge. This warm tropical moisture from the Gulf of Mexico is moving up and merging with those 3 lows. Let's go ahead and take a look. Notice here in this water vapor map, the angular features, straight edges that are manipulating the pressure in this vortex right there. Once again, there's a reason why this is not being shown on mainstream media. There's a reason why we see animated cartoon weather, and that's because these people are covering up the fact that the weather is actually being manipulated by man-made manipulation. This has nothing to do with carbon dioxide. That is absolutely false. And the way they're covering that up is they just show the public the cartoon maps, and that's good enough. The gals in short skirts, heck, they come out and show the weather, and everybody's happy and no problem. But there's a lot more going on in reality than what the fake news is presenting. So once again, we see that moisture heading right towards California, and yet there's no precipitation to be had here on the West Coast. All the weather is down here near Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Missouri, and up here in Minnesota, Wisconsin area. Also, we have a hurricane. Let's talk about that. Actually not a hurricane, but a disturbance with a 50% chance of hurricane formation down here in the Gulf of Tehuantepec. Tehuantepec, I believe is how you pronounce it. Right there, 50% chance. We'll keep an eye on that. Here is a shot of the East Pacific, the water vapor loop, that developing weather system that the disturbance down here with a 50% chance is right in this area. Looks like there's some counterclockwise spinning action right about here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see what happens. All right, let's take a look at the, this is the Pacific surface analysis. We can see that 1,000 millibar weather system right here with an occluded front. This is a purple occluded front, which means there's warm air overtaking cold air, which is, very, very strange, impossible really when you talk about a low pressure system where you have a warm front overtaking a cold front right in the middle of a low pressure system. That is just amazing. And the reason for this occluded front is we have transmitter manipulation on that vortex that's causing heated descending air, which is overtaking the cold air and causing the angular features and separating the frontal system away from the vortex. Once again, let's look at that action. You can see what's happening very clearly. And that's what's blockading the jet stream right here. Let's get rid of the dead frame. Got this vortex is completely being squashed by high pressure. That's what's maintaining the 1,000 millibar pressure. If they took the transmitter off of that vortex, this would intensify. You see high pressure installed down through the eastern Pacific down here. Right here we have an area of high pressure that is going in. That will steer this low up to the north, looks like. Got another low, something up here spinning counterclockwise. But this right here is just utterly amazing. This is astonishing how this just runs right into that and bangs right into a high pressure blockade right here. Can't get into that vortex. That defies the basic laws of physics. Pressure, thermodynamics. We see no condensation around that vortex except for the moisture here being blockaded. Same here, the jet stream is just dead ending right there. So there it is. See it right here in the infrared map as well. So that's the report. Let's take a look at the swell report here right now. We have 12-foot swells, 12 and 13-foot swells right off of Northern California, and 9-foot right down here off of Central California, and 6-foot swells off of Southern California. Looking at the unified surface analysis, we see those 3 lows right here over the central part of the country. They're about 1,003, 1,004, and I can't read that one, but they're all right about 1,002, 3, and 4 millibar right here. That's that big weather system that is being allowed to, the warm air is being allowed to merge with these lows. Okay, so that's the report. We'll just leave it right here. Watch that jet stream just dead end right into a high pressure blockade right there. Okay, that's it.